first of all hit the floor running by saying congratulations, because I recently learned that you got married.
Oh, I did. Thank you. Yep, we just passed our first year, and so far I think I'll keep him. So,
Ah, so that's a good place to be, right?
yes,
So where are you right now? Are you East Coast, West Coast?
I'm an East Coast girl now. I grew up on the West Coast. I grew up in California, originally from Canada, but grew up in California and was in LA for 14 years.
Oh,
And
wow.
then recently moved to Atlanta, Georgia, where my husband is from. And I love it here. I think from the moment I started working in Atlanta and spending more time in New York, working in New York as well, I just felt like it was more me, kind of like I was supposed to be here all along.
Fantastic. Yeah, you do find your space. The editor has a line that he uses, and he'll say that New Yorkers are built around the world. They've just got to find themselves here.
Exactly. So
Right.
true. I love that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, I know that you've been busy, so I'd love to kick off with you kind of breaking down what are you doing right now? What's your current project? I know that obviously the third season is kind of hitting for high.
Yes, for Hightown. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The finale just aired, so it's super bittersweet. I feel like I could have played that role forever. It was just like a really special, rare dynamic on set. Everyone was incredibly inspiring, and it was probably the most fulfilling role of my career so far. So it's bittersweet. I'm so happy for everyone to see everything we did over the course of three amazing seasons. And so that's exciting. That just the finale just aired. And then I'm not sure what's next. You know, the industry is just starting to get back on its feet. So I'm excited for whatever that is. I did have the opportunity to shadow direct Laura Belsey in episode 5 of season 3 last or when we shot the season. And I loved it so much that it's kind of opened me up to wanting to dip my toes into learning more on the other side of the camera as well. So we'll see where that takes me. I kind of fell into the industry. I didn't have a conventional start, and I fell in love with it. And I think although acting was like my primary goal, I just found from the very beginning interest in, potentially writing one day or directing or understanding a lot of different sides of the industry. I'm very much in the beginning stages of all of that. We'll see where it goes. But I think finally, when you're on a show for a while, you get this incredible opportunity to work with the same people over the course of seasons.
Right.
And sometimes you kind of get the opportunity to do things like shadow direct. Or if you're already a director, like Monica Raymond, our lead, directed multiple episodes. She's
Wow.
fantastic and a huge inspiration to me. Yes.
Yeah.
And so when I got that opportunity, I wasn't sure because, like you said, some actors, it's not for them. So I wasn't sure how I was going to take it.
Right.
And I loved every minute of it. I just couldn't get enough of it. And so I think I'll continue learning.
That's fantastic. Does that draw? Well, Monica, it's interesting that you bring Monica up because I know that we profiled Monica before Hightown came into play. And
Yes.
again, a really, really interesting actor and somebody that kind of really gets her space and lets loose in her space as well, which is
Yes.
interesting. But just going back to your kind of somewhat of a director debut, is that are you a writer? Is writing something that you enjoy?
I think the next stage is for me to potentially write and direct my own short film, and just kind of see where things go from there. But I am interested in all aspects of it. I think it's like kind of a big dream because already, acting is a career in itself. And
Mhm.
of course, directing and writing are their own careers, and people work for years and years to get to the point that they are. So for me, I'm just really looking to learn more and be creative and kind of see where that can go.
The space that you're in is really interesting. You touched on a couple of things there related to kind of the family and bubble that you create
Yes.
with a journey when you're working on a series with the same people for a long time. I think that's really, really interesting because it's surprising to see how positive a group and a family environment in the acting hemisphere can actually create. And how many people then go on to kind of work together in other projects because of the present journey that they've just either wrapped or finished. How are you feeling about that with regards to working with some of your counterparts as times kind of move into a development
No,
project?
it's so hard. And I always tell everyone, the industry creates this just really rare dynamic of your coworkers. You're working with these people sometimes 14 hours a day, and you're seeing them more than you're seeing your own friends and family. And so inevitably it creates this family dynamic on set. And then there's this strange thing that happens when suddenly you say goodbye.
Right,
Um, it's very bizarre, and it's always bittersweet. And everyone's always a mixture of, I think, excited for everyone to see what we've created together, and then also really sad to say goodbye. But like you said, the industry can be a small world, and often you create
right,
relationships where you'll get to work with, whether that's crew, production, or cast, you'll get to work with them again on future projects. And in the case of Hightown, I just pray that I do, because I mean, it was a dream project. It really was. From our incredible showrunner, Rebecca Cutter,
right.
to all of our producers, all of our cast, all of our incredible crew. I can't stop singing its praises, because it was just an incredible experience. So I hope that I get to work with everyone again. I always feel like every role I've ever played has had an impact or is a stepping stone to the next. You kind of mentioned some of the biggest ones for me. The Newsroom was my first reoccurring role on anything. I was
Right.
brand new in the industry. I was
Fantastic.
terrified and nervous. And it was the biggest blessing, because I got to go to work every day and see some of the best do what they do. I mean, I couldn't have
Absolutely.
asked for a better acting
Yeah.
school, I guess. I look at it as, because even though it's such a small part of that show, I got to watch these people perform, and of course work with Aaron Sorkin, which was a dream. And just learned so much on that set. So I'm so grateful for that one. And then the Originals, which spin off of the Vampire Diaries, it was the first time I was a series regular over the course of that many years. And the fan base of that show is just beyond. They're so incredible, and still are. We still, get together and see them and do Originals things. And I'm just so grateful for that whole experience. It was a massive stepping stone in my career. And then of course, Hightown, I think, was something I was craving as an actor. Wanted to get that gritty, dark, real, raw role. And as terrifying as that was, because I really had to be vulnerable in ways I never
Mm.
had been on camera before,
Right, right,
it
right.
was the most fulfilling and just a dream to do. And so all of them were just huge impacts on me.
Right.
And going forward, I mean, I would like to do some comedy. I do love it. And I also really want to play like a badass in an action film. I grew up playing sports. I think it would be a lot of fun.
You're a young actor in a young space with millennials and Gen Zs in trending also in the entertainment space that kind of young people are into. And you touched on, the Vampire Diary and the following that they have. Obviously, social media is a big deal. So my first question has to be is tell me a little bit about how you deal with that. How do you deal with the social media aspect? I mean, it's really refreshing to hear you kind of say, I still like to write things down. And I'm like, yeah,
Yes.
but young people are kind of crazy about TikTok and Instagram today.
They are. And I have to say, it does not come 100, or didn't come 100% naturally to me. It really didn't. Looking back, it was something I probably should have stepped into a long time ago.
Right, right,
But it
right.
wasn't. I am a millennial, so for me, it wasn't as prevalent as, say, the younger generation. But I do now see how important it is to keep that relationship with your viewers and your
Right.
fans, And it's just part of the industry now. It really
Yes.
is. And I've started to try my best anyway. I don't know if I'm cool or if I'm good at it. I really don't. But I've tried. I just started to do, the TikTok thing. And something that's a little refreshing that I learned about it is I was worried, I think, or more concerned about whatever you put out there should look a certain way or be a certain way. And the truth is, I found that they relate so much more when you're just yourself and you're kind of giving them an
Yeah.
inside glimpse, and your real life.
Yeah.
And they really appreciate that. And I think that's what generates more of a following than these idealistic posts that aren't real. So that part is refreshing, that's actually what they want, as opposed to some fake idea.
Yeah.
But I'm still learning. I'm still not 100% great at it. I still mess up all the time. I'm like, I'll post something before it's ready all the time, or accidentally push a button. I'm not 100% cool yet when it comes to that. Hey everyone, my feature will be coming out soon at New York Moves. Make sure you follow them and check them out. I had the best time with you guys. Thank you so much for having me, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Love you, New York Moves.